This story begins on an airplane bound for South Korea. Chachisu is an attractive and flirty, but also very arrogant guy. Noticing that some thugs are looking for him at the airport, the guy spends the night at the house of a girl he just met. A little later he meets with his friends discussing what he should do to hide from the criminals chasing him. At the end of the meeting, one of the comrades suggests that Chachis go to a prestigious university, believing that it will give him the protection he needs. On the other hand, we are introduced to the charming Yeningbi, a 25-year-old university student preparing for her final exam to teach high school. After studying, the girl goes to a fortune teller with tarot cards to see if she can pass this exam successfully. The woman tells Yeningbi not only about her studies but also about her love life, informing her that she will find her soulmate when she hears bells ringing. Meanwhile, Chachis once again has to hide from the thugs chasing him. Trying to get away from the pursuers, the guy hides in the women's restroom and accidentally closes himself in the same stall with Yeningbi. The frightened girl starts screaming, so Chachisu decides to flirt with her so that the beauty calms down and does not reveal his location. After returning home, the girl tells her roommate Dongju what happened. The girl, who works as a high school English teacher, is sincerely jealous of her friend, wishing she had the same active romantic life. In the evening, Chachisu meets her best friend Uhenu and learns about his father's difficult financial situation. The guy, being a rich heir, promises to help and lend 300 million so that his comrade's family can pay their debts. At the same time, Yeningbi is sad because she is going through a breakup with her boyfriend, with whom she never managed to meet after he returned from the army. A little later, Chachisu meets with her father to discuss her future stay in Korea. The overbearing businessman asks his aide to do everything he can to send the boy back to the US and thus end his promiscuous life, but Chachisu begs his father to let him stay and promises to do the studies. A few days later, Yeningbi and Chachisu meet again at a school festival. As they get to know each other better, the girl tells him that she dreams of passing her exams, while the boy claims that his desire to study is only due to pressure from his family and the public. Soon after, Yeningbi meets her ex-boyfriend by chance and learns that he has started a relationship with another girl, causing the couple to have a huge fight in front of the crowds gathered at the festival. Feeling depressed, Yeningbi needs support and rushes to Chachis to tell him about her feelings and worries. Not wanting to hear it, the guy kicks her out of the car and drives home. Realizing that one should let go of past relationships, Yeningbi throws away everything related to her first love. The next morning, on her way to her internship, the girl meets Chachisa again. During the walk, Yeningbi decides to evaluate the guy and quickly comes to the conclusion that he is suitable to start a new relationship. Soon the girl stumbles, but Chachisu doesn't let her fall, putting his arm around Yeningbi. Forgetting that just yesterday he kicked her out of the car, the girl offers to go on a date but gets an instant rejection. Immediately, Chachisu puts on a jacket and shocks Yeningbi as he is a senior in high school and 6 years younger than her. Soon, the teacher introduces to the school children the interns from the institute who have arrived for a professional internship. By an unfortunate coincidence, Yeningbi is assigned to the same class as Chachisu, which makes her feel awkward. After the class, she learns that the boy she is socializing with is the only son of an influential businessman who owns the largest food conglomerate in Korea. Moreover, Chachisu's father is also the owner of their institute, so Dongju advises her friend to be more careful and treat the guy well so that no misunderstanding or conflict will arise between them. A little later, she meets Chachisu, who reassures her that she has nothing to worry about and that their communication will remain between them. Worried, the girl seeks advice from Seo, a former volleyball teammate who works as a coach. The friend advises her to talk to her father first, after which it will be clear what she should do. Soon after, Professor Han instructs the girl to go in search of a problem student and a member of a local gang, Kim Ball, who often visits her father's noodle shop. Once there, the girl meets her father and talks about her late mother, after which she learns that Ball has headed to the recycling garden. Meeting the guy, Yeningbi convinces him to go back to school, and he promises to do so, but is now more worried about the beautiful dancer with whom he is head over heels in love. At one point, the dancer agrees to meet and talk to Ball, only to reject him. Soon Chachisu and Ball are fighting, figuring out their relationship, but the rich guy uses his social superiority to humiliate his comrade. Their conflict ends up at the police station. The ballerina arrives here and decides to stay by Chachisu's side. Seeing that Ball can hardly hold back tears, Yanenbi supports the guy in a difficult moment. The next morning, Chachisu's father forbids the boy to use the car as a punishment for his behavior. Chachisu decides to use a cab, but accidentally meets Yanenbi, as a result of which they have to go to school together. On the way, the girl asks him to think about the fact that he should not meddle in the relationship of the ballerina and Ball, but Chachisu is not frightened if the beauty will date two guys at once. A little later, Chachisu flirts with Yanenbi again, despite the fact that she is his teacher. At one point, the girl succumbs to temptation and is ready for a kiss, but the guy kisses her on the forehead. Remembering her sanity, Yanenbi tries to pull away from the schoolboy, but he promises to ask her out on a date if the girl continues to care about him. A couple of hours later, Yanenbi rushes to the hospital after learning that her father has been injured and needs the help of doctors. She assumes that something terrible has happened, but the man has actually just injured his arm, resulting in a cast. Meanwhile, Kanghyuk arrives in Korea, who will take on an important role in Youngbi's life. In the evening, Dongju advises her friend to avoid socializing with the schoolboy and ignore him in order to successfully complete her teaching practice. The girl agrees, but at the same time feels depressed because she feels sympathy for Chachis and thinks about how he kissed her. Soon Kanhek goes to the hospital to meet and support Yanenbi's father. Still in the ward, the man decides to make an impact on his daughter's personal life and asks Kanhek to meet her. The next morning, Yanenbi has her first physical education class, during which Chachisu and Ball's teams must face off on the court, playing a basketball game. Professor Han expresses his displeasure about this situation, as the girls' class is supposed to be purely theoretical. Having broken the rules, she gets punished and has to clean up the gym. While performing the task, the girl accidentally overhears Chachisu talking to his friends. The guy is experienced in relationships and flirting, so he gives useful advice to his friends, which offends Yanenbi, who realizes that Chachisu is a deceitful and arrogant impudent man who only takes advantage of girls' trust. In an attempt to punish him for this behavior, Yanenbi hits the guy over the head with a ball. Chachisu would like to retaliate, but in time Kanhek appears to defend her. At the end of the incident, Professor Khan and the headmaster reprimand the girl and promise to decide on her future fate in the school. Soon after the incident, Chachisa is admitted to the hospital due to heart problems. Learning about this, the father visits his son and asks him to be more careful, both in his studies and with girls. While out for a walk, Chachisu meets Yanenbi's father, who offers to strengthen his heart and try Ramen, but the schoolboy has a negative attitude towards the idea and rudely refuses. After the conversation, Chachisu returns to the hospital and fails to notice that Yanenbi's father has fainted. Meanwhile, Soy suggests that Ball start a relationship again, but make it open so that she can socialize not only with him, but also with Chachisu. Yanenbi comes to the hospital to visit her father, but she is met by a schoolboy who apologizes for the last incident. The couple's conversation is interrupted by the fact that the girl's father is taken to the intensive care unit, as the man's condition has deteriorated sharply. Yanenbi hopes for the best, but the doctors cannot help, and her father loses his life. Having learned of the tragic news, the relatives meet Yanenbi and express their condolences to her and help her in preparing for the funeral. After saying goodbye to her late father, the girl goes to his restaurant to eat noodles and remember happy moments from her childhood. Yanenbi remembers both good events and quarrels, including the one because of which she and her father did not communicate or see each other for a long time. All this makes the girl feel guilty about what happened to her father. Yanenbi can't hold back her tears, as suddenly, Kanhek appears in the restaurant, who comforts and supports the girl in a difficult moment. Chachisu also feels guilty about what happened, as he was the last person to have contact with her father. When Chachisu arrives at the restaurant of Yanenbi's late father, he witnesses a romantic embrace between Yanenbi and Kanhek, which makes him feel jealous. In the morning, a friend informs him that the girl needs to go to the principal's office and apologize for the incident with the schoolboy. A little later, Shachisu decides to talk to his father and ask him for advice on how to deal with the situation of a girl who has lost a loved one. Not understanding anything about the feelings, the rich man suggests his son to do it through a monetary donation, and it seems to the guy that this is a really good idea. Yaningbi arrives at the school to settle the conflict, after which Professor Khan and the principal force her to apologize to the student she hit with the ball. After accepting Yaningbi's apology, Shachisu offers her money as sympathy, but the girl refuses, considering such an act as a lack of tact and education. The conversation ends with Yaningbi punching the guy in the face again, which causes a commotion in the corridor. This incident becomes decisive, and the principal kicks out Yaningbi, while Bao expresses his admiration for her. In the evening, the girl regrets her rash actions and does not understand how to live on. Seo offers to find another school for practice, but the friend reacts skeptically to this, because Yaningbi is kicked out, and it is unlikely that anyone will provide her with a workplace. Realizing that the only way out is private tutoring, Yaningbi distributes flyers when suddenly she receives a call from Chachisu's father offering to return to the institute if she apologizes to his son. Despite the tempting offer and monetary benefits, the girl does not bargain with her conscience and refuses to apologize, not considering herself guilty. After learning about all this, Shachisu is angry at his father for not persuading the girl to return to her studies and internship. Going in search of the girl, Shachisu sees Yaningbi being chased by disgruntled students and saves her from possible consequences. After leaving the scene, Yaningbi declares that expressing feelings with money is wrong, and moreover, he should not play with girls and their feelings. The social gravity rises and Shachisu asks the girl about her relationship with Kanhek. Yaningbi ignores his question, stating that Shachisu is a child trying to appear mature, which makes the guy very angry. Upon returning home, Yaningbi cries as she realizes she lost her keys, but the door is unlocked. Once inside, the girl sees a table full of food and doesn't realize who could have cooked it all. Kanhek wakes up a little later and sees that Yaningbi has eaten dinner and fallen asleep, so he covers her with a blanket. At the same time, Shachisu arrives at the restaurant to give the girl the keys, but meets Kanhek and their conversation ends in an argument. The next morning, Yaningbi wakes up and sees Kanhek wearing only a towel. Frightened, the girl defends herself with cutlery, but the man calms her down and informs her that he was a friend of her late father and inherited the restaurant. Upon learning that her father wrote a will in favor of his friend and not his own daughter, the girl is sad and struggles to hold back tears. Kanhek declares that she has a chance to own the restaurant if she marries him, as that is what her late father wanted. While Kanhek and Yaningbi work things out, Shachisu thinks about the girl and her words about him being a child and almost drowns in the pool. Soon, Youngbi meets with her friend to talk about her father's unfair will. Dongju can't help and informs her that she is getting married, so her friend will have to look for another place to live. Disappointed, she goes in search of Chachisu to reproach him that her life has fallen apart because of him and take out all her anger on him. In the evening, the boy wakes up in his room because of the pain in his heart, which no doctor can cure. A little later, he talks to his father and tries to run away to meet Yaningbi, but the guards stop the guy. Back at the restaurant, Yaningbi tastes Kanhek's food and admits that he is an excellent cook. The girl offers to make a deal for him to run the restaurant while she owns her late father's house. These words upset the man, as the girl has no interest in him or her father's business, and as a result, he promises to sell the restaurant. Meanwhile, Bao cannot resist the beauty Soy and invites her to the restaurant to eat noodles. Upon going to the place for their date, they discover that the restaurant is closed. This upsets Bao, but the ballerina gives him a kiss, which makes the guy nervous. A little later, Yaningbi returns home to pack her things and Bao helps her in this. The girl informs the schoolboy that Soy is just using the knave guy and he should stay away from her, but Bao doesn't want to listen to moralizing, as she is not his teacher anymore. Meanwhile, Shachisu finds an opportunity to escape from home and tries to find Yaningbi to talk to her. The girl is not at home, as she has come to the school gym to do volleyball and reminisce about old times. Finding Yaningbi, Shachisu watches her from the bleachers and approaches her after practice to explain her strange symptoms and heart pains. Yaningbi apologizes for her behavior but pushes the guy away, claiming that they will never be together as she wants to be a teacher and he is considerably younger than her. After breaking Chacha's heart, Jeninbi boards a train where she meets Kanhek. During their dialogue, they realize that her father's restaurant must continue to operate and agree not to sell it, but to start working together. Soon Chachasu appears on the train and attacks Kanhek and punches him in the face. Yanyanbi is angry at the guy because of what happened and demands that he leave her alone. Showing concern towards Kanhek, the girl examines his wound to make sure that the man is not hurt. At the train station, Chachasu again tries to talk to Jeninbi, but this leads to an argument, during which the guy accidentally takes a laxative and runs off to the toilet. Yanyanbi treats Kanhek's wound again and is embarrassed as the man tries to flirt with her. Shortly before the incident, Chachasu tries to find the girl and talk to her, but meets Kanhek in the restaurant. When he heard that she was going to the train station, he rushed after her and assumed that Yanyanbi wanted to end her life. He drank the contents of the bag, believing it to be poison, but it turned out that the girl just wanted to go to the cemetery to visit her father's grave, and the bag was not poison, but stomach medicine. The next morning, the best friend notices that Chachasu is very nervous about the girl and thinks about her all the time, so he supports him in his time of need. Meanwhile, Jeninbi visits her father's grave, after which Kanhek offers her a walk on the beach and confesses his sympathy. Chachasu decides to take his mind off his problems with Jeninbi and goes to a party with his friends. Despite the cheerful company, he still thinks about the girl and wants to see her again. Kanhek receives Ball in the restaurant and offers the boy to become a restaurant worker. Soon Chachasu also arrives here, looking for Jeninbi. There is a conflict between him and Ball, which escalates into a fight, but Kanhek reconciles the boys by offering them both a job at the restaurant. Jeninbi, who sees Chachasu, tries to kick the guy out, but he accepts Kanhek's offer so that he can work at the restaurant and see the girl he is in love with all the time. The next morning, renovation work begins at the restaurant so that it can reopen under the name Flower Boy Ramen Shop. All of the restaurant's employees take an active part in the renovations, except for Chachasu, who is enjoying his vacation. After going to the supermarket to buy groceries, Yanyanbi asks Kanhek to fire Chachasu, as she hates him and doesn't want to see the guy. Ball complains about his comrade Uinu, with whom they have to share a room, but the restaurant owner remains unyielding in his decision, believing that they should all become a friendly team and learn to work together to achieve higher goals. Chachisu's father is concerned about his son's work, but allows him to do so, believing that the boy must learn to earn money on his own. Soon the restaurant opens and the first customers appear in it. Most of them are girls who are crazy about Chachasu, which makes Yanyanbi angry. A little later, the friends discuss what is going on in the restaurant, but noticing the thugs connected with his father's debts, Ainu runs away. Fearing for his comrade, Chachasu asks his father's guards to watch over the restaurant and protect them from the criminals. Kanhek prepares a new dish and lets Yanyanbi taste it, thus flirting with the girl. Immediately afterward, Chachasu tries to kiss her, but Ball prevents her from doing so. A conflict arises between the restaurant workers over the girl, but they are interrupted as the bodyguards round up Ball's friends, mistaking them for criminals. Later, Chachasu offers his comrade to pay his father's debt, but Oinu rejects the offer as his friend is a child who should not interfere in adult affairs. Chachasu would like to leave, but Yanyanbi pretends to be in a relationship with him as her ex-boyfriend has come to the restaurant. Realizing that the girl wants to make her ex feel jealous and envious, Chachasu plays along with her and behaves romantically. A little later, Yanyanbi asks the guy to sometimes pretend that they are a couple so that the ex will be angry and not think that she is a loser. The boyfriend agrees, but only on the condition that they can see each other whenever he wants to. Back at the restaurant, Yanyanbi talks to the ex and is sad, realizing that she still cares about him. A friend suggests forgetting as it is the past and Yanyanbi agrees with her. The next morning, Chachasu calls the girl and asks to meet. In the restaurant, the couple meets Yanyanbi's ex-boyfriend again, so they have to pretend to be in love. Talking to the ex, they share the details of their imaginary relationship. Kanhek informs the girl that he is jealous of her despite the fact that the relationship is fake. A little later, the ex-boyfriend hugs Yanyanbi and gives her a photo album, which gives the girl mixed feelings. In the evening, Chachisu comes to her house as the girl ignored his calls. After arguing, Janinbi starts crying and Chachisu feels uncomfortable and leaves, leaving her alone. Kanhek learns about what happened and supports the girl in a difficult moment by cooking dinner for her. The next day, Janinbi meets her ex-boyfriend and returns the ring, offering to forget everything that was between them. Here she is also attacked by his girlfriend, who wants to marry the guy and tries to protect him from Janinbi. Chachisu appears on the scene in time and defends Janinbi, after which he punches her ex-boyfriend in the face. The frightened girl hides in the restroom, but Chachisu calms her down and kisses her. The romantic atmosphere is disturbed by Kanhek, who takes the girl away, as a result of which she realizes that both Kanhek and Chachisu are in love with her. After that, the relationship between this trio becomes more and more strained every day, which is unpleasant for Janinbi. A little later, left alone, the girl decides to flirt with Chachisu and makes him nervous, after which she spoils the mood by saying that the guy has food stuck between his teeth. After that, she tries to pull the same trick with Kanhek, but he doesn't react to the flirting and says that he will treat the girl like a future wife, so he gives her medicine and helps her improve her health and mood. In the evening, Kanhek and Chachisu run into each other on the rooftop and discuss the girl. The schoolboy does not understand why the man cares for her so much. Kanhek informs him that he feels a constant need for the girl and has promised Janinbi's late father to make her happy. Upon returning home, Chachisu consults with her father and tries to learn about what love is. After hearing the explanation, the boy tries to understand if he has this feeling for Janinbi. The next morning, Kanhek announces that the waiters will work in pairs. Taking advantage of the fact that Janinbi is paired with him, Chachisu takes the girl to a special place to talk about his feelings. In an attempt to create a romantic mood, he turns on a beautiful song, but it annoys the girl, resulting in Janinbi returning to the restaurant on foot. The knave Chachisu thinks he has made an impression and returns to the restaurant happy when he suddenly notices Kanhek trying to kiss a girl. With each passing day, the situation becomes more and more difficult for Janinbi as Kanhek and Chachisu continue to surround her with attention and take steps to create a romantic relationship. During breakfast, Chachisu informs the girl that he saw the couple on the rooftop, and this leads to a jealous quarrel. Kanhek asks the guy to stop pestering Janinbi, but Chachisu is not ready to let the girl go and forget his feelings for her. Seeing Janinbi and Kanhek cooking like a couple in love, the schoolboy runs away. A little later, Soy appears in the restaurant and tells Janinbi more information about the guy. According to the ballerina, Chachisu is not capable of serious feelings because he flirts with girls and uses them, after which he stops communicating. Despite what she has heard, in the evening Janinbi goes on a date with the guy. Chachisu tries to understand what is between her and Kanhek and gets angry when she learns that the girl wants to give the new owner of her late father's restaurant a chance. Feeling disappointed, Chachisu meets the man and asks him to take care of Janinbi, as she is a beautiful person. Upon returning home, Chachisu declares to her father that he does not love the girl, as she is a simpleton and he is a rich heir who deserves better. After telling her friend that there is a common interest between her and Kanhek, Janinbi agrees to go out with the man. The romantic trip to the movies is interrupted because the man goes to the bathroom. Taking advantage of the moment, Chachisu kidnaps the girl and kisses her passionately so that she calms down and does not resist. As a result, the couple rides away on a motorcycle, while a disappointed Kanhek watches from afar, realizing that the girl has chosen a schoolboy. Left alone, Chachisu confesses his love to the girl, but she rejects him and decides to return to Kanhek. The couple have dinner at a cafe and return home, but Chachisu continues to pursue them, insisting on his feelings. Kanhek forces him to back down, firmly stating that Janinbi will be with him. In the evening, the girl meets Bong and promises that she will not have feelings for the schoolboy. Meanwhile, Chachisu's father is against his communication with the simpleton Janinbi, but the guy is not going to submit to these demands. A couple of days later, Janinbi and Chachisu taste Kanhek's dish, admitting that it is excellent. While Chachisu lures the girl on a date, his father tries to buy the restaurant but gets a negative response from Kanhek. The man insists that his son be fired, but Kanhek again refuses as he has become an important part of their team. During the date, Yanyanbi informs Chachis that she will never be in a relationship with someone who can't cook ramen, which disappoints the guy. After meeting the girl, Kanhek promises not to pressure her and asks her to listen to her heart, but at the same time asserts that he will always be there for her and will support her in her time of need. In the evening, Chachisu goes to a restaurant, and when she meets Kanhek, she asks him to teach her how to cook ramen. Realizing that the guy has good taste and desire, the man agrees to help and gives her a cooking lesson. Chachisu, as always, shows his arrogance and narcissism, but the restaurant owner is calm about it. He is much more annoyed by the fact that the guy decided to learn how to make ramen solely because of his love for Yanyanbi. The next morning, before going to school, Chachisu meets a girl, because she improves his mood. At school, Bal again tries to quarrel with Chachisu, but he tries to settle the conflict, as Soy is not interested in the guy, and the bully can date a ballerina. At the same time, Chachisu admits that he is in love with Yanyanbi and wants to be with her. Bal treats her like a sister and would not want the girl to date someone like Chachisu. Soon the restaurant team unites to engage in a common task. In the course of work, a friend wonders which of the two men Yanyanbi will choose, but the girl is afraid to decide, because with each of them she feels differently and does not understand with whom she will be better. During dinner, sympathy develops between Dongju and Seo, and Chachisu is sad as the girl feeds radishes to everyone but him. Once alone with Yanyanbi, the guy licks the food off her fingers, which makes the girl more nervous than ever before. Later, friends and coworkers go to the sauna, where the girlfriends continue to discuss men. Soy, as the more experienced in relationships, gives a lecture to Yanyanbi to learn how to behave properly in a relationship. Meanwhile, Kanhek and Chachisu continue to compete for the girl's heart. A few days later, Chachisu's father meets Yanyanbi and asks the girl to stay away from his son, as they are from different worlds and cannot have anything in common. Such words hurt the girl, after which she feels humiliated. Back at the restaurant, the girl meets Chachisa, who has prepared ramen for her. Afraid of being hurt, Yanyanbi rejects the guy and points out their different material status. She tries to run away, but Chachisu stops the girl to comfort and hug her. Showing his compassion and sympathy, the guy tries to kiss Yanyanbi, but Kanhek, who bursts into the room, prevents it. Shoving the girl out of the door, Kanhek shows Chachis a photo with his mother, making it clear that they are brothers. Trying not to quarrel in front of the others, they go outside and discuss the whole thing on the rooftop, finally convinced that Kanhek and Chachisu are maternal brothers. Meanwhile, Yanyanbi is worried and can't sleep, not realizing how the conflict between the schoolboy and the restaurant owner will end. The next morning, Yanyanbi checks to see if Chachisu is alright and makes sure that the boy is not hurt as a result of the conflict. Bal hears about the two of them kissing and gets angry at her classmate, while Kanhek removes the door to Yanyanbi's room to prevent such a thing from happening again. A little later, the girlfriends go to the store and Dongju suggests that Yanyanbi continue flirting with the two men. The girl doesn't think it's right and is happy for her friend who has started dating Seo. In the evening, the tension between the guys continues to grow, so Youngbi agrees to go on a date with each of them, hoping that this will settle all disputes. A little later, Kanhek takes Yanyanbi to a Japanese restaurant owned by a friend of his. The friends were vacationing there as well and are shy, so they run away to avoid being seen together by Yanyanbi. During dinner, Kanhek confesses that he has never been in a relationship with Korean girls because of his complicated relationship with his mother, who abandoned him when he was a child. Kanhek hopes that Yanyanbi has the same feelings for him, but the girl isn't ready to give an answer. The next night she goes on a date with Chachisu, who invites her to his family's hotel. The guy not only arranges a romantic dinner, but also offers the girl a job, providing her with a bright future. Realizing that this requires turning down the restaurant, Yanyanbi tells the guy no. Realizing that Chachisu is still a spoiled and arrogant guy who manipulates money, Yanyanbi decides to leave and spends the rest of the evening with Kanhek. Soon Chachisu's father learns that Kanhek is his ex-wife's son and asks to find him for a private conversation. At night, the guy sneaks into Yanyanbi's bedroom to tell her that he is not ready to give up his feelings despite their different character and financial status. As a result, the couple embrace and spend the night together, falling asleep next to each other. Chachisu's father meets Kanhek and apologizes to him for taking away his mother. The man genuinely loved her, but feels guilty because the woman abandoned her husband and young son. Jeninbi comes out of the bedroom and overhears the conversation, also learning that Chachisu and Kanhek are brothers. The older brother asks not to worry about it, as he will not disturb the family and has only come to Korea to take care of the restaurant and Yeninbi. After learning that his son continues to dream of dating a poor girl, his father forces him to go home. On his return to the country house, father and son quarrel, which makes Chachisa run away and return to the restaurant. Kanhek can't chase his sibling away, so he allows him to stay at his house. A couple of days later, the trio notices that customers have disappeared from their restaurant. They soon learn that it was because Chachisu's father tripled a food sale nearby to hurt their business. A little later, the guy is angry as his father has taken his car, blocked his bank accounts and deactivated his cell phone, hoping this will force him to return home. As it turns out, the guy's father wants to redevelop the entire neighborhood, and to do so, he needs to destroy the restaurant standing in his way. In the evening, Chachisu admits that he's willing to give up everything just to be with the girl, but she doubts that they should date. At the same time, Seo and Dongju break up, and Soi confesses to Ball that she has dated 3 guys at once and offers to break up, but he forgives her, after which the couple kisses. In the evening, Yeninbi faints due to stomach pains. After helping the girl, the brothers go to bed beside her to take care of her if necessary. Chachisu and Kanhek are unable to sleep, so they discuss the reasons why they like Jeninbi. Ball and Uedinu also lie down with them to be close to the girl who brought them together in the same restaurant. In the morning, Chachisu learns of his father's plans to take over and destroy the entire neighborhood if he doesn't return home and break up with Yeninbi once and for all. Soon the boy's father tries to separate Yeninbi and Chachisu again, offering the girl a teaching position in one of the schools. Yeninbi realized that she loves the guy and wants to be with him, so she refuses his father's offer. Back at the restaurant, the girl decides to talk about it with Kanhek to explain her feelings and choice to him. She treats the restaurant owner well, but it is Chachisu who loves her, as there are special feelings between them that are full of reciprocity. At the same time, Chachisu and his father fight again over the girl. Director Go warns that the restaurant and the whole neighborhood where it is located will be destroyed if the guy makes the wrong decision. Friends, his favorite girl, and his brother are in danger, which puts Chachisu in a difficult position. He consults Kanhek, but his brother doesn't know the best way to handle the situation. At night, Yeninbi cannot sleep and thinks about how to confess her love to the schoolboy. Soon the New Year holidays are approaching and friends who work at the restaurant decorate the Christmas tree. Yeninbi invites Chachisa to the gym to talk about something important. The girl rehearses the speech for a long time, but the guy is stopped by people in black, who demand to make a final decision. He asks to give a few more minutes to meet his favorite girl and gets this chance. Yeninbi confesses her love to Chachis, but he rejects the girl and offers to part without explaining the reasons for his action. Kanhek tries to reason with his younger brother, but Chachisu goes to his father, believing that this is the only way to stop the businessman, saving the restaurant and the happiness of Yeninbi, Kanhek, and his friends. Upon meeting his father, Chachisu suggests that they forget everything that has happened and communicate with each other as little as possible. Meanwhile, an inconsolable Jeninbi gets drunk and cries. When she reaches Kanhek's house, she talks about her feelings and asks for support in her hour of need. At the same time, Chachisu becomes depressed and does not leave his room, realizing that he cannot see his brother or the girl he loved, whom he had to reject. Sometime later, Kanhek informs the girl that Chachisu left her to save the restaurant. Jeninbi reacts calmly, but soon an epiphany comes over her, as a result of which she decides to fight for love. After learning that Chachisu has decided to leave for the US, Yeninbi rushes to the airport. Before finding the guy, she meets his father and informs him that she will take care of Chachisu even if he disinherits him. After finding and stealing the guy, the girl kisses him passionately, realizing that nothing else will interfere with their love. Knowing that the restaurant will soon be closed and demolished, Yeninbi and the 4 men prepare one last presentation of their ramen recipes. Director Go interrupts the dinner with the news that Chachisa is being drafted into the army. The girl is very sad, but promises her boyfriend that this will not affect their relationship in any way. 2 years later, Chachisu, Bal and Wohenu finish their military service, and Seo and Dongju become husband and wife. Upon returning home, Bal meets Seoji and passionately kisses the ballerina right in front of her man. Yanyanbi starts working as a high school teacher when she suddenly learns that Chachisu has returned home. Upon meeting, the couple kiss tenderly under the falling snow, realizing that nothing else will interfere with their happiness.